I can't believe it's been a whole year now since I do any major traveling. Due to the whole pandemic, I've been stranded in Florida. But what better place to be stuck in than good old Miami, Florida? So for the time being, I've somewhat distanced myself from the city and I've immersed myself in nature, which has led me to meet this incredible being. We've been seeing each other for over a month now. Alright, so here she is, my lovely Biscayne Bay. One of my most memorable memories in elementary school was going on a field trip to a beach full of marine life. I just remember going in the water and they let us catch little sea creatures like starfish and sea urchins. This was a long time ago and I was very young, so I forget all the details, but I still think about that day from time to time. So 1 month ago, I decided to go explore new territory to see something new. I was hoping to photograph some wildlife, but that was just wishful thinking. You never really know. It's time to put the drone in the wind. Now here I am east coasting over the bay and instantly I'm blown away at the water formation. Feels like I'm looking at a globe. Then, all of a sudden, as I was admiring the scenery, I see something moving in the water. I couldn't tell what it was, so I zeroed in for a better look. And this right here was my first encounter with the bay. Turned out to be a pair of spotted eagle rays. They are a protected venomous species with a beautiful polka dot pattern, which looks amazing, almost hypnotizing. I was so intrigued by these rays and the way they swam in unison that I followed them for a little while. And sure enough, they introduced me to the family. They brought me to the pack. There's something special about these rays. I feel like they're the gatekeepers of Biscayne, because they're the ones that introduced me to the beautiful bay and all of its inhabitants. Now I'm going to introduce you to the wildlife as they were introduced to me. First came these two sharks. I believe they're nurse shark, which is funny because I used to have a pet nurse shark a long time ago, and I know they're bottom dwellers, which is why I believe these are nurse shark. The next species I encountered was a good old Florida manatee. Some call them sea cows because they spend most of their day munching on greenery, but I think they look like a freaking torpedo. Manatees are so big, yet so peaceful and friendly. They don't bother nobody. I just love seeing them. By now I'm hooked. The bay and me were meant to be. I come see her almost every single day, and every time I pay the bay a visit, she teaches me something new. So for today's lesson, the bay introduces me to a beautiful species of shark that I didn't even know exists. Now check out where I found these black-tip sharks lurking at. They're just casually hunting in the backyard of these multi-million-dollar waterfront houses. Okay, so at this point I feel like I've almost seen it all. Sharks, manatees, stingrays. I mean, what more can I possibly encounter? Just when I thought I saw it all, I start to find schools of huge fish. If I could see them from the sky, that means they're pretty big. But it's hard to identify them from above, and I don't know much about fish to begin with, so I can't exactly tell you what type of fish these are. So far I've had people tell me some of these fish are jack, permit, cobia, tarpon, but none has been confirmed. Now remember that field trip I mentioned I had in elementary school? Well, the more I come to this specific beach, the more I'm starting to think this is where it took place at. Okay, so what more is there to see in the sea, or the bay I shall say? I almost feel like I've seen it all by now. And sure enough, on Monday, February 8th, I encountered 2 new species. One of them I always dreamed of seeing in the wild. This day was particularly active. The sharks were lurking and the stingrays were out in numbers I had not seen before. There must have been a party going on or something, because I ran into a relative of the eagle ray not too far away. Right around the corner was a smoking blunt-nosed stingray. This was my first time seeing one of these, and that's always an excitement. Now I'm not 100% sure that this is a blunt-nosed stingray, but it appears to be. After finding Mr. Ray, I decided to venture a little deeper into the bay. Today was one of those lucky explorations, because what you're about to see blew my mind when I saw it for the first time. I was about 400 feet above when I noticed a little light reflecting off the water surface. I couldn't make out what it was, so I went in for a closer look. A freaking sea turtle? Are you kidding me? This has always been something I wanted to see in the wild, and here it is, live at 5. It was actually around 5:30 p.m. when I encountered this green sea turtle. I didn't want to disturb this majestic creature, so I kept my distance and I kept it brief. Now here we are the next day, and I'm eager to see more. So I head in the direction where I saw the turtle yesterday, and sure enough, I see more of them just floating. Then I head over to see the manatees, and guess what they're doing? Munching like always. As for today's new species, I didn't have to go far. Right here on the shore, I noticed a big fish surrounded by tons of little fish. At first I thought the big fish was trying to hunt the little ones, but he didn't seem to be hunting so aggressively. So then I thought maybe this is a mother looking over her babies. But I don't know. Either way, it's nice to see all this life taking place. So I am now convinced that this is where that field trip took place at. I remember walking down these same pathways when I was just a little kid. It's crazy how some things in life come full circle. Meanwhile, back in the bay, I run into an eagle ray who is kind enough to introduce me to a friend, which just so happens to be one of my favorite marine invertebrates. Starfish are endlessly interesting. I could stare at them all day, every day. That's it, I can't take it no more. All this marine life I've been photographing is beyond incredible. It makes me happy to see all this happening before my very own eyes. But Biscayne Bay is nowhere near what it once was. Recently, there have been lots of fish kill and algae blooms that literally have the bay on life support, in some areas more than others. I must mention that the part of the bay I'm showing you just so happens to be a little more preserved than other areas. There are parts of the bay closer to the city that are nowhere near as lush as this. Luckily, there are organizations and groups of people out there doing their part trying to save the bay. Miami-Dade has recently hired the very first Chief Bay Officer to help restore Biscayne. Hopefully, it's not too late. Thank you for tuning in to the very first episode of Matt Geo. Now I got some good news, my friends. As of this video, I'm releasing a limited print series of some of my favorite images of nature on my web store. By purchasing my work, that allows me to go out and create more cool content like what you just watched. So head on over to my web store. I have a variety of print sizes and it's easy to order.